Hello, this is Fabricio, and I'm presenting Sous Chef Agent. This is my capstone project for the 5-day intensive course at Kaggle for agents with ADK. So, before I get started, let me talk a little bit about the project. Sous Chef is an AI powered kitchen assistant. It is designed to enhance home cooking workflows through intelligent ingredient recognition, recipe management, and meal planning capabilities. The project aims to demonstrate the practical implementation of agentic AI workflows, um, and all the patterns that were discussed during the ADK intensive course at Kaggle. Uh, Before I get started into the details, I would like to do a little bit of explaining of why this project. So I've been living with my partner Stefania for almost 10 years now. She's great at cooking. She takes it very seriously, very professionally. And a few months ago, I suggested her to use Gemini, to use the AI Studio to help her with ideas for new recipes. She goes to cooking classes, she buys recipe books, and she investigates a lot of new ingredients. But I suggested her to use AI, to use Gemini, just to see what happened. And it was literally an explosion of ideas, new recipes, and it was there were so many good ideas there that for her it was hard to keep track of all the ideas, all the new recipes. So I created this tool for her. Actually, this aims to fill that gap between the AI suggesting new ideas, suggesting her how to solve practical problems in the day-to-day recipe management, uh, and actually materialize, capture all that knowledge, all those ideas in a permanent storage. We decided to use Notion as the tool for the data management, for capturing the knowledge, because we already use Notion for a lot of our daily workloads, and also because it's easy to manage, right? A user can query Notion, can edit pages, can read pages natively, so it's very intuitive. So this is a way for me to put into practice all the concepts that I learned during the course in a real tool for my partner. I also enjoy the benefits, of course, of she doing great cooking, because well, this this is what we eat daily. So uh, the concept behind this is a very common problem in every kitchen. That is what we do cook today, right? So this aims to solve in a very practical manner that problem. Um, so traditional recipe apps, there are a lot, right? They are static. The manual ingredient tracking is not very practical, it's not very dynamic. You don't get to learn from the experience. It's just what is in there. It's like a digital traditional book, and it's disconnected from the inventory, what you actually have in your kitchen, what you actually have in your fridge, what there is, what ingredients there are in the pantry. So the Sous Chef solution is a context-aware AI assistant It uses vision-based recognition and multimodal input to actually understand what is on your kitchen, what ingredients do you have. It learns using the memory tool and the session management. It gets to learn from over time from the preference of the users, and transforms home cooking, helping users understand what they have, discover what they can make, new recipes, right? Leveraging all the knowledge from the AI, and building personalized recipe collections for every user. Let's talk a little bit about architecture. So the user uses the vision tools bundled in Gemini 2.5. So a user takes a photo from what is in the pantry, what is in the fridge, and uses natural language to query what they can cook with those ingredients. Gemini 2.5 analyzes that with the vision and tool execution. Then there is context management, session, and memory. So memory tracks preferences stored over time. Sessions track conversations. And there is a native, using the Notion client, there is a native integration with Notion. So in Notion, we have 3 databases, one for storing all the recipes, another for keeping the meals that were prepared over time, and another one to keep track of the shopping list. So let's say the Sous Chef agent suggests a recipe, but you miss an ingredient, you can create a shopping list in Notion, and you can pull it from your phone when you're at the store and check there all the ingredients. The pillars are vision recognition, native image processing just to recognize what the person has, creating structured ingredient lists, and instant awareness of what is in the inventory that is kept in Notion. The Notion data layer helps track this and materialize this in a way that goes beyond the agent on itself. So it's a tool on itself, but the agent interacts with that tool. And memory management, just to get to learn about the user, their preference, dietary preferences, cooking patterns, conversational continuity. So for example, if you cooked something yesterday and today you want to repeat the recipe or make a variation, the agent can do that. Why using Notion as a data layer? Basically, Notion is a database on itself, but it's a user-friendly database, right? So properties help to execute queries using things like ingredients, and the page content delivers a rich markup formatted document that is very well processed by an LLM. So there is a very good interoperability between Markdown and the Notion Markdown and the LLMs. The Notion Python client is very good, very easy to implement the tools for the agent using the Notion client, and it's really developer friendly. There is really good documentation, very easy to implement, very easy to make changes. So just an example of a workflow, the main workflow, there are several, but the main workflow is discover and cook, right? So the user uploads a photo captures a refrigerator or a pantry content with the cam, or uploading the photo in the web UI. Gemini uses the vision analysis and extracts the ingredients, let's say tomatoes, chicken, garlic, basil, whatever you have in your fridge. Then it uses the Notion tools incorporated into the agent to do search, so it can search the already existing recipes to see if it matches one of the recipes. If there aren't any recipes that match the ingredients, the AI will suggest one recipe in a very particular format. All that is very carefully designed using prompt engineering. Then the user cooks, prepares the recipe, and the meal is logged. When the meal logging happens, the user puts a score. It delivers a little bit of feedback, like saying, I will change this, I wouldn't repeat this recipe, and then the agent takes action depending on the feedback. And the agent gets to learn over time about the preferences and the repetitive, the repeated recipes. Another workflow example, intelligent planning flow. So the user requests plan 3 dinners for this week. Let's say that week we are short on time, so we need to do meal prep on advance. So you can intelligently plan that. The agent will check the meal journal to avoid repetition. So if we prepare something very recently, it will try not to repeat itself. The memory service loads any dietary restriction and the favorites, right, and selects particular recipes. Let's say pasta, eggplant parm, and caprese risotto. Then a consolidated shopping list is generated for all the recipes in bulk, and the list is saved to the shopping calendar with the estimated costs, so we can organize the shopping to prepare these meals. So some technical stack and patterns that I use, as I mentioned, I use Gemini 2.5 because of the native image to text capabilities. Notion API, in particular the latest API version, there were some changes in their API and I opt to use the latest version. I'm using Python 3.11 or higher. Regarding design patterns, context engineering with dynamic prompts. So I have a set of static prompts, but then I enrich those with whatever I capture from the tools, right? So if I capture a particular recipe, I load that into a prompt and generate a dynamic prompt. Tool composition and chaining. So there are several tools, about 10 tools, right? So the workflow uses several tools, chain one tool with the other, for example, to get the current date and then plan the meal accordingly and know when to save a particular shopping list. And memory augmented responses. So whenever we load memory, we use that memory to augment the responses. The integration points basically are vision to recipe search, then to Notion write and read, right? The data flow in Notion is bidirectional, so we read to Notion, but we also write to Notion. And I'm using Vertex session service and Vertex AI memory service to manage the context. Regarding the concepts of the course and how it maps to the project, so day 1 and 2, tools and integration, these are basically the custom Notion tools for CRUD operations, for vision processing, and tool composition patterns with external data sources. For day 3, we got sessions and memory, so I decided to give it a try to Vertex AI Session Service and Vertex AI Memory Bank. Very good services. For day 4, quality that is planned. I didn't get the time to actually do some evaluations, but that's planned and I will definitely do later on. And for long running ops, that was explored, but unfortunately, there is a known limitation between Vertex AI memory service and tool confirmation. So those two don't work well together. So unfortunately, I got very inconsistent behavior. So that didn't work. The plan was to use a human in the loop pattern to actually get the user to confirm before storing a shopping list that was expected to cost above certain price, but I got really inconsistent behavior, so I decided to drop that functionality. That could in any case be implemented at the application layer using something like a workflow, a two-step workflow, right? Where there is one workflow that creates the shopping list and then another workflow that gets the confirmation and stores. But yes, so uh, basically this is the power of context aware AI. So 4 core capabilities: multimodal processing, a rich set of external tools, persistent memory, and natural conversation. 3 Notion databases integrated in the database layer with recipe book, meal journal, and shopping calendar working in a coordinated way with the Sous agent. And 10 plus specialized tools for recipe management, for meal tracking, for shopping list, and other sets of operations. So future enhancements, things that I have planned to continue working on: nutritional information integration, so keep track of the nutritional parameters. A voice interface, so if you have your hands busy, right, and you are cooking and you want to ask a question in speech, in a speech manner, you could do that, and ADK makes it really easy. Smart appliance connections, so I'm planning on using um, some smart home appliances like Alexa or Google Home, right, to actually make this part of the ubiquitous internet. That will be great. And then seasonal meal optimizations. I'm planning to continue exploring prompt engineering and other source of data to actually tune the recipes to the season, right? And to make sure that if it is winter, right, and it's really cold, probably a fresh salad is not the best recipe. So that's it. With that said, I'll share in a minute a short demo of the agent actually working. Thank you.